Good evening, my fellow Scorpions. Welcome to tonight's reading, where we are going to custom design a ritual so that you are prepared to make room for what is wanting to flow into your life over the next moon cycle, the next 28 days. So the first card we're going to pull is, what is your current energy right now? And the current energy is receptivity. So Scorpio, you're ready to receive. You are coming from a time of you're aware of great abundance, and you know that the universe provides. The figure on top is like the inner being, that place inside of yourself that is calm and reserved. And yes, even Scorpios, we like to feel internal, but to be internal and not upset, to be in calm, that's our potential. But the human figure at the bottom is I feel is separate from this. It looks so distant from each other, okay? And so I'm seeing that there is a flow, kind of a trickle of energy that's coming down from the angelic being into the human that's sitting there. But it strikes me that's a little, I'm going to use the word paltry, and I never use that word, but it's just like not enough. It's just like it keeps you in the game, but it's not enough, okay? So right now there's a sense of hunger and the desire for something, and it's not frivolous. This is something that you're feeling is very important. So what's coming toward you here is liberation. Boy, we like to see this card come up. As now in the figure again is in surrender. The arms are lifted into this symbol of divinity. And as we look at the size of the symbol compared to the figure, and as we ourselves learn to reach our arms up and the wings of our spirits up to allow for transformation on the internal, to allow yourself to learn to let go in a deeper way. That's what the whole reading is about tonight. And so I just feel like part of Scorpionic nature that is true in my life is just feeling like I'm ready to have a fight. Don't cross me, don't cross me. But sometimes all that self-strength that we build over time is taking away from our ability to receive, okay? So it's very cool to know that the angels and the guides are here for your liberation and to help you let go of what it is that you're going to focus on here, and we'll get to that in a little bit. So right now, here's what you need to focus on internally to get this change going, and it's energy. So in this energy card, look at how she is in like a tube of presence, of divine presence. It's like, beam me up, Scotty. She's just in a receptive state. Her arms are open and she's ready to receive. So again, this goes along with our receptivity card to become more active in the receptivity. Here, this figure is in a waiting mode, but again, I just see this distance between them. But in this card, the figure is standing up. She's in a more receptive position, and there is an outpouring on her. Also, there's the flow right next to the figure. We see the flow coming down, and it's not at her. It's not, next to her yet, but it's on its way. And so keeping your energy up is important. Laughter is excellent. One of my favorite things to do is to watch bloopers, movie bloopers or news bloopers online, because they always make me laugh. If you have a favorite stand-up comedian that you like to watch, YouTube can be a lifesaver. Definitely spending time outside, moving your body. Dancing is a great way to go about keeping your energy up so that you can transition into this new phase that's coming. And so now when we look, what is it that we are ready to release? What it will be our greatest benefit? And it's the here and now card. Okay, this is definitely a message of the urgency to focus in the here and now and to release You're incessant obsessing about the past and the future, Scorpio, okay? There's something going on here that is stealing your peace, because instead of focusing on the here and now, you're focused on everything else. And you know what? The world is in a tough situation right now. It can be very difficult to stay detached from what you see going on all around you. In fact, it can be so painful in the here and now that you avoid it. But that's really robbing you of your strength and your future projects, you know, the creativity you need, and the fact that your energy is being drained by the lack of focus on the here and now. I have been listening to some really good YouTubes on what's called the backwards law, and so I don't want to talk about it tonight. It'll take too much time. You can Google it, but it really gives you some good thoughts about getting rid of the worry and the obsessing, and even the compassionate pain that you feel for other people that are suffering. It doesn't help your ability to manifest a greater flow towards abundance in your life. So getting able to detach from the pain of others and even your own pain from the past can be tremendously beneficial for you tonight. So we're going to have that as the focus of the ritual. And then the outcome, when you do align with releasing this avoidance of being here now, the outcome is learning. And you know what, Scorpio, this is really good. If you look down the line of trees there, it's like this beautiful golden light that is flowing right down the path towards this book. So there, to me, it's about changing your narrative, okay? And we're going to do that a little bit tonight in our ritual. What can you do to change your narrative so that you can start appreciating and how strong you have been, helping you ease down so you're not like on high charge all the time, but to be able to relax a little bit, because what you've achieved is fantastic, and it's okay to release anything that it wants to go, for sure. So let's grab my moon cards here for the ritual. Now, step one of the ritual is setting up. So I would grab losing my words. Grab some candles, flowers, anything you can do to decorate your ritual. We like that. Human beings are kind of born to have rituals. It just makes us feel comforted. Also, doing this during the 28-day moon cycle gives you a chance to measure your progress month to month, and you can actually have things written down, okay? So for our ritual, then, the first step is to gather your supplies, and you're going to need paper and pencil, because I do like to do burning ceremonies or shredding ceremonies where you're actually writing things down. Science shows us that using your hands is a good way of relieving any sort of stress, because I don't know why, there's smart people that research these things, but that's why gardening and painting and knitting and having a stitch and bitch group where you get together and work on handcrafts and talk about, try not to gossip, but talk about interesting topics, but working with your hands can really help you recover from emotional turmoil. So anyway, our first card is then take a reality check. So when you're looking at your receptivity, what I want you to do is take your piece of paper, and it's going to be a columns left and right, okay? And the column to the left, I want you to write down the last gifts that are kindnesses that you've done. Scorpio, you are so generous. I mean, you're generous to a fault. So write down on the left side of the column the last maybe several things that you've done for other people. For example, I live next to the most wonderful woman ever. She's older than me and is very busy, has a busy life. Whenever I cook a big pot of soup or stew, I always give her a serving or two of that. So it's like just any kind of generous gesture. That's list number one. On the right hand side of the paper, what we're going to do is you're going to write down how many things people have given you in the last maybe month. How many gifts have you received? Okay, that's the first step. Then trusting that all will be well. As you're looking at releasing your ability to you're releasing your avoidance of the here and now, it will be okay. Sometimes I think, well, if who will fix it if I'm not fixing it, right? Well, that's not our job to fix everything. And releasing people to their own pain and their own path is a good thing. So so as you're collecting these two lists, what have you given and what have you received in the last recent piece of time? And then with that, what I want you to do is we're going to do a little analysis. The next step is to just look at it and see, as you read the two sides of the list, which side of the paper feels better to you. Does it feel better to see the list of all the things you've given, or does it feel better for you to read the list of all the things you've received? Now, the goal would be that would be equal, that you would have pleasure with receiving as much as pleasure as giving. But sometimes you don't even have that many gifts. Like, people haven't given you anything in the last month, but you have been giving. So if that's out of balance, you need to step back and look at the big picture, because some of your giving may be for different reasons, right? It may be to fill a need that you have. Again, all of this is part of the learning. So at the bottom of their paper, then, we're going to create the intention to learn to detach from other people's pain. So I think I would say, even though it's not easy for me, I am willing to learn how to detach from things that bother me. Even though it's a challenge for me now, I want to choose peace of mind and release other people's problems back to them, okay? And just start creating that narrative. I know my friends and family can take care of themselves. I am ready and willing to focus on my own ability to receive, okay? So what you'll do then is you're going to take your paper, and you can burn it, you can shred it, or you can tear it up. And then you want to use the ashes either in the garden, or release if it's ashes, or to not throw them away in a disrespectful way, but to understand that being able to take this seriously, that you want to learn how to be more receptive, right? And if you had a big difference with how those two sides of the paper felt, take that to your guides and your angels and create a prayer or just statements about what you're reading, so that you can be honest with yourself. Only you know your own ability to receive freely, okay? So that's it, Scorpio. Please go forth and prosper. Have a wonderful ceremony. Looking forward to a month of flow and abundance. And do drop a comment below and let me know how you enjoyed the ritual. We'll see you next reading.